Previously on the Big Break. The guys had no idea what was in store for them.
You go warm up in the driving range and then we end up on a green, you know, so that's kind of sucks.
At the course, some of their questions were answered.
Where we were hitting from was actually a little lower, so the wall seemed that much higher to us.
But a few surprises remained.
Once they raised that wall up, I mean, I thought to myself, good Lord.
I was just lucky to come out with my head, with my teeth still intact.
Mark pulled off the shot of the day on the way to his first mulligan. The elimination challenge was a 210-yard gut check.
You're good at this, just get it done, get out of here.
Craig and Steve battled it out in a sudden death playoff.
That was the toughest, was waiting, because it was out of my hands. There's nothing I could do.
Steve was sent packing.
If you're looking for sad, you ain't gonna find us here. I had a great time.
With Steve gone, 7 men moved one step closer to their goal. 4 Canadian Tour exemptions and their big break.
Oh my God. Good omen, bad omen? No omen. Oh man. Oh man.
Woke up this morning, found a nice big surprise.
Watch out, Craig. Did I do that? I don't know. Did you do that?
You know, birds poo on your windshield, supposed to be lucky. Maybe that's a sign of luck for me and Craig, I don't know. But I almost stepped in it, so thank God I didn't step in it.
Hey, Jeff, watch this.
Hey, guys. Good morning. How are you? Does it feel getting a little bit smaller? Pressure feeling a little bit more? What's in your heads?
I think it's getting more like a real golf tournament, because the less there are, the more you can play against the people. Because, I mean, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You see where you stand, go again. You know, so I think it gets, the strategy starts to play more of a part.
So starting to think a little bit more about how you want to play against your competitors?
Yeah, just about hanging in. I mean, that's what you do in golf tournaments when the pressure's on, try to hang in, so that's all we're going to be doing out there.
I think everyone's definitely, they're starting to feel like, you know, I'm close, you know, and you build confidence as you go.
Well, let's get going.
Each show makes it that much easier to get through the next one. Used to the cameras, you know, used to having people right on top of you, used to knowing, you know, you might have to gut it out in a really weird situation.
You guys are kind of quiet this morning.
The atmosphere is definitely changing. Everybody's getting a little quieter. Friendships are still there, but it's definitely the competitiveness is going to start creeping through, and pressure's building. You know, stakes are rising, and it's getting exciting.
Now it's getting closer to, you can smell it a little bit, and I mean, it's pretty big. These exemptions are huge for all of us, so it's not going to turn into rooting against each other at all, because it's golf. I mean, you just try to hit good golf shots.
We're up.
The group is dwindling a little bit.
That's right, this thing was this wide.
Yeah. You're now down to 7. Chances are getting a little bit better for you to have your big break.
You know, I think one of the things, this is really starting to heat up competitively, and you can see it, you can feel it. And, you know, I'm not even hitting a shot, and I can see it, how important this is to you guys. And as every day goes on, it seems like your friendships are getting closer as well. You're getting to know each other a lot more, and those things are tough, but, you know, it's part of the game. It's like on tour, when you think about what happens out there, the guys are always really trying to help each other. Jeff, you said, hey, I was hitting it sideways, and he said, somebody gave me the tip. One of the players gave you a tip, and all of a sudden, you thought you were gone, and
oh yeah,
and you pulled it out
of here because I was hitting it so bad. I don't think the guy, you know, they even wanted to see me swing. It was like, I don't even want to look at that. But yeah, it was.
You had the dreaded lateral going.
Absolutely.
And all of a sudden, you stood up and flushed it. You know, you hit some really good shots. Yeah, guys, if you ever, you know, can't play, maybe I could use you on my teaching staff. Yeah. You can keep that up. But that was great. And today it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, we've got some really exciting new challenges for you today.
These guys are probably saying, what are you going to do today? You know, you really don't know. And it's hard to practice. You know, it's hard to prepare,
You talk about it every morning, and you talk about it every night, is what's going to happen next. Yeah. We just hit balls like you're going to go play 18 holes. And then, you know, when you come to that event, then you have to decide what you're going to do and what the game plan is.
Yeah. Well, let's get started. Yeah. What do you think? You ready?
Let's go.
The dwindling group.
Yes.
I went for the 5-pointer. I mean, really slashing. I wasn't even close on a couple of them. And I took my time today. Instead of, it was a speed challenge, I decided I'm just going to play how I play golf and get points out of it. I didn't want to get skunked.
A little bit of wind. It's going a little uphill. 86 front, 89 middle.
Pretty close.
Pretty man on the money.
You gonna shoot at the 20?
I might fire one at it.
I'm gonna start firing at the 20, I think, when it's my turn. Right off the bat.
Just get it dialed in, you only gotta make 2 of them.
This is the target frame challenge, the skills challenge for the show today. Basically how it works is you're gonna have 90 seconds to hit as many balls as you can into the targets.
In the target frame challenge, each competitor will have 90 seconds to hit balls into 3 frames located in the fairway. The frames are worth different point values according to their size. A yellow ball worth double the point value will be in each player's supply of balls. The player with the most points will win the all-important mulligan for the elimination challenge.
We also have 2 mountain bikes today in this challenge that are available. And then just to sweeten the pot a little bit, our good friends at Travel Country Outdoor in Orlando, Florida have provided us a kayak for you guys.
You got approximately 90 yards. It's uphill, a little bit into the wind. If you look at the cube on the right, where there's 5 points, that is about 400 square feet. The average square footage of a green typically would be 4,000 feet. So I think the viewer can see that. When you go to the 10-pointer, that's 225 square feet, which is about the size of an office. And when you go to the big point deal over there that's sitting on top, that's the size of a small bathroom. So it's up to you, you know, it's that same deal. It's risk-reward. Obviously, you're going to pick a spot, get into a groove, and go. But it's going to be fun to watch you guys do this.
So, Craig, you're up first.
All right, Craig.
Come on, Craig.
It was playing to about 95 yards, somewhere in there. It was a little uphill, a little into the wind. And that's my pitch, a little 3/4 pitching wedge. I just wanted to
start off at the 5s, get a groove, and then maybe move my aim over to the 10s, and then maybe one of the last ones hit towards the 20.
All right, that's in there.
Let's see what Jeff's got.
Go get him, Jeff.
See if you have a different philosophy.
It was uphill into the wind, and it was 90 seconds to get as many balls in those boxes as you could. And I was focusing on the largest one to try to at least get 2 or 3 in. And then I was going to move to the 10-point and then possibly the 20-pointer.
You know, we could have pulled it the other one.
Long 5.
I went for the 5-pointer. I mean, really slashing. I wasn't even close on a couple of them. And I took my time today. Instead of, it was a speed challenge, I decided I'm just gonna play how I play golf and get points out of it. I didn't want to get skunked, really, you know.
It was a timed event, and I've come to learn for me, time or speed golf doesn't exactly work with me. I get real rushed and don't make my normal swing and don't perform quite as well as I normally do under a normal circumstance.
My strategy, I took a little extra longer, you know, a little extra club, pitching wedge, and just, you know, punched them up there, taking short back swings as many in succession as I could.
Good.
Good shot.
It was a perfect yardage. It was like about right around 90, and it was into the breeze a little bit, so I figured it's playing 100, and that's like it's a stock lob wedge, really. I mean, I just took the big one. I didn't know what anyone else was gonna do, really, and I just said, just play smart, and just rolled with it.
I thought that I had it grooved, and I tried to use the yellow ball and the 5-pointer, and I just wanted to go ahead and see if I could strike it in there.
Last one. Make it count. Get in there.
Oh, look
Get
at this
in there.
one.
That's
look at this one.
Oh!
Dude, go over.
Yeah.
That was intense. Great. Are you tired?
I felt real uncomfortable the whole time. The clock, I've got to figure out something with the clock. I got to work on that overnight. I think I'm going to sit down and think about something to do.
Get up, get up.
Oh, that was so close.
All right. It's all right, you hit a couple in the slot.
Good job.
All right, what'd that
job.
feel like?
Got that one too, I think.
Oh, great shot.
Wow.
That was a totally different strategy.
I've been last every time in these.
You know what? You really took your time. I mean, totally different, and I mean, it paid off.
Finally, out of the basement.
Upstairs, bro. Go up top with it. Come on, play up. I hit some shots, and I just wasn't catching. Just wasn't really catching. I don't think I lined up. If I had to do it over, I'd still stay aggressive, but I would have taken an extra second to line it up a little better.
In the Target Frames Challenge, Anthony has set the mark with 25 points. But 4 other guys have yet to play and still have a crack at the mulligan.
Okay, Justin, you're up.
Okay.
Come on, JP.
I was looking around, you know, trying to decide what the best strategy was. There's the 20-pointer, the 10-pointer, and the 5-pointer. And I decided to take the aggressive route. I said, I'm just going to go fire after the 20.
I should have started out with the longer club because it was a little bit uphill and it was a little bit into the wind. The golf ball was slightly above my feet, so I started hitting it heavy shots or fat shots.
Get up good.
There you go. Good shot.
Okay, John.
25's the score to beat.
There was actually a time limit for one, and secondly, you had to try to get the most amount of balls into there, which normally you don't want to try to rush.
Short.
Flex, go
All right, come on, bud.
club. There you go.
Good right there, buddy.
There you go.
That's it. Good shot.
There you go. That's in.
You got it.
All right, you got it dialed in.
I've had either a blessing or a curse of being the last guy up a lot, which gives me a lot of thought time. And I'm thinking, I have one shot. You take the yellow ball, you take your time, you pick the target, don't worry about what people are gonna think, and you do your best to hit that ball in there. It's worth 40 points.
I hit some shots and I just wasn't catching. Just wasn't really catching. I don't think I lined up. If I had to do it over, I'd still stay aggressive, but I would have taken an extra second to line it up a little better.
Yeah.
Was that in or long?
I went for the 5 box the whole time. I didn't even try to go for the other 2 because I figured I could get at least 6 in the 5 box.
Still got your yellow.
Got it. That's in.
I was nervous, I would say, in the middle, and that reason being probably because I was actually trying to rush the shots.
No. Little left.
Yellow.
That's
You're
it.
good. That's 3.
Any of these time challenges that come up, I really struggle on. I have a pre-shot routine. I cannot pull the trigger until it's time to go. So, I can get the first ball off, and then the second and third just get chunked. They go to the right, they go to the left.
All right. Use your yellow.
I got a big fat 0, which, I wouldn't have changed my strategy. If I had to do it over, I'd do the same thing.
5. Get out. Get in there.
Oh! It's tough. Don't forget your yellow ball.
Yellow ball.
Get it. Get it.
That's going left.
7 seconds. You got enough.
One more good swing.
3.
One more good
2. 1.
Get that.
There we go, baby.
Get in there.
All right.
Nice.
How about that?
Nice.
All right.
I was really just trying to hit one in there. When I dropped the 2 balls, and I could have separated one of them, and I just tried to hit the 2 of them together. At that point, I was just having fun. I knew I had no chance. Well, Anthony, you're the winner.
Yeah, I decided to play real golf instead of the rush golf. I mean,
Well, it
I've
paid
been in
off.
last, so I said, that's all right.
We'll see how you use that mulligan in
Yeah,
the next
that's
round.
huge.
Here.
I'm
This is
fired
the
up
big
about
one
that.
coming up. You ready for it?
Sure.
You guys ready?
I was thinking, I like this one because this one, there's no clock, number 1. It's 4 different clubs, and I pull off those shots pretty well, so I was pretty comfortable about the competition, the way it was set up. Hit it a little low, thought it would get through the wind, get up, and hit the hill. Stay there. Stay there.
Four Canadian Tour exemptions await the winner of the big break. For these guys, it is the chance of a lifetime.
As far as it being a real big break, yeah. I mean, what you're playing for is those exemptions, and you guys are footing the bill. And that's huge.
If I was fortunate enough to go on and win the whole show, that would be some amazing exposure to be playing a golf tournament on the Canadian Tour, where it's televised on the Golf Channel.
Those spots would be huge because you can, A, get yourself on TV, B, get that experience, and that's really what you need. So it's hard to, to focus on it so much because you put so much pressure on yourself.
Because we want to show off our talents. A lot of us have done Monday qualifiers or, open qualifiers. Some of us had some success, some of us not. So we just want to have the opportunity to get those exemptions.
For exemptions that are televised on the Golf Channel, that is, it's a dream. It's what I'm out here for. That is on my mind when I wake up. That is on my mind when I'm at work. You know, where would I rather be? I'd rather be out competing in the heat of the battle.
They are younger. They can take, at this point in their life, they can take those chances. But me, having a wife and 2 children, it's difficult. That's why I'm here. This big break, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for it so I can win, and then I'm going to be able to get that break.
I think for a lot of these guys, this is going to be the biggest opportunity that ever comes along in their life. For me, this is a heck of a lot of fun. I think it's a big break for me, too.
A lot of the guys, we talked about it, and we know that whoever that lucky guy is probably going to get some pretty good TV time just because the Golf Channel is putting on this show, and they're going to be televising, so they'll probably follow this guy as if he's winning the tournament. So you're going to get just a great experience of being able to play golf in front of those cameras.
Hey guys. How you guys doing? Good. Well, here we are at the elimination challenge for this show today.
Anthony, you've got the mulligan, and I think that probably the mulligan will be the most important to have during this event, if I were to have a mulligan, and here's why. You're going to have to hit pitching wedge, 9-iron, 8-iron, and 7-iron. Then we're going to take the total yardage that you are away from the hole, the cumulative. The person that has, obviously, the most yardage is going home. Now, take a look at the situation you're in. This is where the creative part of golf is important. You know, you play in wind, you have to hit different shots. Now, from 120 yards, slightly uphill, you're going to be dealing with all those clubs. So you've got to make the changes, the adjustments in your swing, control the shot. It should be pretty challenging.
In the pitching wedge through 7-iron challenge, the players will test their ability to control their distance and accuracy by hitting 4 different clubs to a pin located on a green 120 yards away. The player with the highest total distance from the pin after the 4 shots will be eliminated.
Okay, Craig, you're up.
Okay. I was thinking, I like this one because this one, there's no clock, number one. It's 4 different clubs, and I pull off those shots pretty well, so I was pretty comfortable about the competition, the way it was set up. I hit a great wedge. I hit it a little low, thought it would get through the wind, and hit the hill. Stayed. Thinking, okay, let's put a little more juice on it, but of course I have to take off for the 9, the next club. Oh. And then, when you know it, I hit it right in the same spot. The 8-iron, you know, was about 3/4 swing, maybe half swing, and again, I think I came dangerously close to the hill again, and it just got up over the hill and stayed. I think that one's about 25 feet, something like that. And then the 7-iron, I made a pretty good swing, but at the end, just my hands didn't quite work with my brain, and pulled a little bit, and that was about 35 feet. But that one at least went long, didn't come back down the slope and hurt me too much. So I felt all right. I made 4 pretty good swings, but I thought the hill killed me.
Good luck, Mark.
Good luck, Mark.
These are shots that I play. I have a lot of these types of shots that come out from under trees and around trees, and I can hood clubs and open up faces, and I can cut balls around, and I can hook them around corners. And, you know, to me, you know, 7-iron from 120, I can hit 7-iron to 50 yards. That's not an issue. So I was actually pretty cocky walking into that.
Oh, that's kind.
Oh, look at that.
Great
Fabulous.
shot. Great shot.
My strategy was rough behind the green, and again, these are the things you think through. Play them long, play them long, play them long. You're going to average around 100, and you're going to move on. And Craig had put a number up that I thought I was going to be able to go right through. I got to that 8-iron, and unfortunately, you know, slowed the swing down, closed the hands over it, hit a, you know, screaming pull hook that was, what, 89, 90 feet away. That certainly set me back a little bit, and it took me a second, and I just thought, you know what, 7-iron, compose yourself. It's the shot, you know. Just set yourself up square, then turn a little bit to the right, and if you slow down then, you're going to decelerate, and you're just going to pull it right to the flag.
Oh, that was finesse. You took something off of that. That was a great shot right there.
Great shot.
Stay there.
Nice.
That was a nice little 7-iron.
The 86 hurt it big time.
Total measurement 159.1.
Yeah. You know
what I deserved.
Well, you're in there. It's
Okay,
never
Mark.
over till it's over.
Thanks.
We'll just see what we have now.
Anything's possible.
That's
Craig,
right.
you're safe. Craig is now feeling a little bit better.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to make me this nervous. I thought, you know, I've been in other big events before, but I mean, it's a different story. You know, it's not like you're playing with Jim, Joe, Bob back home, you know, for $10. It's pretty tough. A lot of pressure.
In the elimination challenge, Mark has let Craig off the hook with a score of over 159 feet. He will have to wait it out while the others attempt the challenge.
That wind is really whipping.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, I can remember 6 years ago trying to tee off in some of the state tournament qualifiers. First tee box, I would just shank it straight right. I wound up taking a 7, knock myself out. And here, you know, I was just wanting to hit the shot. And yeah, I was nervous, very nervous.
Oh, good shot.
Go. That's gonna suck back like crazy.
Get up.
Just stay.
Get up.
I knew that I could strike the 9-iron. I put it pretty close. I think that it wound up around 8, a little over 8 feet.
Good shot, Jeff.
The 8-iron, I punched it up, got it fairly close, 20-something feet. Mark, I think he was around 159, and I knew that I needed to get under that, and I figured with the numbers that I had with the pitching wedge, the 9 and then the 8, that I could be, you know, fairly confident with the 7-iron.
Come back right. Come back right.
The 7-iron went a little long through the green, but it was where it needed to be.
Good shot.
That's good enough. That's good enough. Congratulations.
Oh man, it was a great.
That was good. Well,
It's always great when you get to move on to the next challenge.
I didn't think it was going to make me this nervous. I thought, you know, I've been in other big events before, but I mean, it's a different story. You know, it's not like you're playing with Jim, Joe, Bob back home, you know, for $10. It's pretty tough. A lot of pressure. You know, 120-yard shot, and I got to hit 4 clubs, which is pitching wedge 9, 8, and 7. Those 4 clubs are not my 120-yard shot. I don't care if it's windy. So I wasn't too confident going in.
He stuffed it.
Give him the ticket.
Oh, nice shot, Randy.
I went back to, you know, what I do normally, and that's just choke down and pretend it's a normal shot, but choke down an inch so it takes, you know, about 10 yards off each club.
Watch this shot. This is a classy shot. Oh, that's a pretty little shot there. Congratulations. You're you're
Yeah.
way safe.
Thank you.
Okay?
Let's do next show.
I thought everybody else had the advantage over me going into that one, but I fared a lot better than I thought I would.
I felt real comfortable with that event, and approaching when it was my time to hit, I may have approached a little too nonchalantly in my mind, just knowing that it wasn't a real hard score to beat. I should have been firing at the pin.
Good shot. Good shot.
Really good.
That's a great shot.
Spin.
That worked out fine.
That's one thing I've always been pretty good at is distance control with my irons. I mean, I've always been a pretty solid iron player. I usually hit the ball pretty solid, and I feel like I've got good control with the distance. You know, I can make adjustments pretty quick in my swing when it comes to those type of clubs.
Right now. Come right.
Yeah, good shot.
That's a good shot. Good shot.
Well done.
You know, we're all learning. This is all new to us, and it's great under this kind of pressure. And it's a great learning experience. We learn something new through each challenge.
There you
Woo, there we go.
That's the one you needed.
Get up there.
All right, Justin, moving on, buddy. Moving on.
Shot.
You know, watching the skills challenges on TV, I've always watched them like, man, I would love to do something like that. It looks so fun. And, you know, I'm living that dream that I get to do that right now. It's just, I'm having a blast. It's so much fun. I mean, I love hitting all these different crazy shots and testing the skills, and I'm just having a great time. It's a very competitive tour, which is what you want. You want to put your game up against the best players. You see the scores week after week. These guys are shooting the same and better scores than on the PGA Tour. A lot of them drive, you know, scraping by on the mini tours. It's just all part of the process. Getting very used to this drive. I think I could probably do it with my eyes closed. It's brutal. I mean, it's 2.5 hours of driving sometimes each day. It does a toll on your back. Just try to keep reminding myself to forget about all those other thoughts, you know, about the bills I owe, the debts that I owe. It's not fun when you're trying to just make cuts or finishing 20th or 30th. You know, I'd love to have my own room, but you know, you got to be realistic. Shit ready for tomorrow, checking our tee times. Last night we got back, we just talked a little bit, me and my friend Mike. Played Jimmy Jones. Jimmy? Watching a baseball game.
The big hurt.
That's pretty much the life of a mini tour golfer. I wish I could tell you a much more exciting story, but that's what it is. Could have used another 3-4 hours of sleep. I like to sleep. On this tour, you got to get out of the gate right away. You got to be aggressive. The guys make a lot of birdies out here. It teaches you that you have to go low. You have to shoot in the mid-60s consistently. A lot of these guys you're going to see on the PGA Tour eventually because they're that good. It's just they haven't gotten through Q school yet. Because none of us want to stay on this level. There's not a very exciting aura around these tournaments. Unlike the PGA Tour, the Nationwide Tour, where you get the crowds, you get the TV cameras. And that makes it a lot more exciting. After this Golden Bear Tour, I don't know how many more tournaments, when my next tournament's going to be. This almost feels like this is my last-ditch effort, my last chance. So it's every opportunity is a big one, and when one slips by, it just makes it that much harder the next time.
My thinking was that I wanted to lead the challenge. I wanted to be 1 or 2.
I'm not the type of person that's going to sit around and pity myself when things are going bad. I wanted to see each guy step up to that ball, and I wanted to see each guy hit good shots, and I wanted them to beat me.
With all but 2 of the guys completing the challenge, Mark is still on the hot seat. Only John and Anthony have yet to play.
Your world, Flex.
It was a tough challenge. It was, because it's all about control. And the sad thing about it is, someone's going to be eliminated. And my thinking was that I wanted to lead the challenge. I wanted to be 1 or 2.
Kick him right. Kick him right.
That's good. That's good.
That's good, John. That's good. Stay right there.
Good shot, John.
That's good. That's good.
I was very relaxed. I was just trying to hit the best shots, that I could, and execute them the best I can. When I hit that first pull with the pitching wedge, I knew that was going to be a problem because I pulled it, and then the 9-iron I pulled again. So I kept going to that fat part of the green, which is, further away from the hole.
I knew it was close at that point. He was averaging around 40 or so a shot, and I'm thinking, it's getting a little close. I actually was afraid he was going to hit the ball into that hill and come back down that slope. And, it's about 42, it seemed like, when that was happening. That would have been too close for comfort.
That is good, John. Get out. That's good. Good shot, John. Not going to hurt you back. Not going to hurt you back. One more, buddy. One more like that.
These guys are my friends, and I was there to root them on. And, I'm not the type of person that's going to sit around and pity myself when things are going bad. I'm there for these guys. So for each guy, I wanted to see each guy step up to that ball, and I wanted to see each guy hit good shots, and I wanted them to beat me.
More like that, you're through.
That's it. Yeah, that's all you needed, buddy. Get up. Get up. There you go. That's all you needed. No, don't go left. Go right.
That's a good swing, bud.
That should be good, John.
Good swing.
That's good, John.
That was a lousy kick.
Pretty ugly.
No, I mean, the shot was good, and actually another foot or so, and it's going to feed right to the hole. Now, he kicked dead left and jumped away from you. We're going to get a total here. And I said in the 30 range, you were okay.
Measurement, 48 feet.
See that? You got to get a total here.
Once you hit a shot, and I was calculating, this is going to be close.
When I'm competing, math doesn't work, so I was looking at the board going, guys, what does it add up to?
Total measurement, 162 feet, 6 inches.
Wow.
Is
that right?
What?
And everybody was like, is that right? You know, everybody was just shocked. They thought the numbers were wrong.
When it came out 162, we had to double check it, and I was in shock.
You take 4 foot and 80 footer, it's
No.
42 feet each. That's rough.
Yeah.
And Mark immediately turned around and he just looked really upset.
When the call comes out for the number, I was just absolutely blown away by it.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty bad kick.
That's a shock. I mean, because
That
you
is a
looked
real
like you had
shock.
total control, and I started looking at the totals, and I said, you know, in the 30 range, you look like you're okay, and here it is, you know, three feet difference.
Yeah.
And the kick, it hit up and just jumped dead left. And I thought when you hit it, I go, that's
thought it
over.
was
and
right in
it
there.
went, and it kicked just
Yep.
short
I like
enough.
that left side. I kept hitting some pulls to the left side, which is unfortunate a little bit. Let's go off sometimes. You never know.
Man, you got a lot of game. You got a lot of
know.
talent. And
Well, let's let
just
Anthony
hang here
hit
for a
and
minute.
see
It's
what
not over
happens.
yet.
Just wanted to hit, you know, decent shots. I got to see everyone go. You just play to survive on that type of situation. Be good. Be good. Looks so nice.
With a score of over 162 feet, elimination is staring John squarely in the face. 5 guys that have played their way through to the next show will watch as Anthony battles his nerves as he tries to stay alive.
I was last and I had a mulligan, so I was pretty fired up about that. Just wanted to hit, you know, decent shots. I got to see everyone go. You just play to survive on that type of situation. The pin was tucked, I mean, back to the green, so you had to get at a certain yardage to hold it up there. We had plenty of club.
Measurement,
Looks so nice.
43 feet, 6 inches.
Fight.
Measurement, 26 feet,
Close.
6 inches.
Be good. Be good.
Measurement, 48 feet, 1 inch.
Oh, you got it. You got it. 40 feet.
You didn't need your mulligan.
That's all right.
It looks pretty safe.
Let's hear what
19 feet,
There you
10 inches.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We got good news and bad news. We got all you guys are going forward
We'll see
to
you
the
all
next
Come here,
series,
Kaizen.
and we're losing our man John.
for the next show.
And John, that was a weird
Yeah, it's
deal,
tough
man.
break.
It's
Tough
great
break.
to have you, though. I mean,
Oh,
you
it's a
got
pleasure being on the show.
you just
Pleasure being here.
keep working and keep
Yeah.
working on your game, and you got a lot of game.
John,
Thank you, John.
Enjoy, buddy.
kick some butt.
You're a star.
You got it. Rada executed that shot the way you're supposed to. I mean, it was coming in fine, and he just took that roll to the left and rolled about 13 feet, you know, further than it's supposed to, instead of just running to the right. But I learned from it. They learned something from it. It was the first elimination challenge where really somebody hit a pretty good shot and kind of a funny bounce really took the guy out of it.
Today was the most emotional day as far as losing people, and you know, John was just a class kid, and he's real good at golf. He's got a great golf swing. Everyone was sad today. Everyone was pretty bummed out.
So I didn't get up this morning thinking I was gonna be driving and go back home early. But it was a great group of guys, though, I'll tell you that.
For John, this is a big opportunity, and I really wanted to see him do well. He was one of my good friends here, and it was very disappointing.
He kept us loose, you know. He kept us laughing.
Which way do you think the beach is?
We just hate to see that swing go, because good golfers like to look at good swings, and man, he just had that short, tight, compact swing, just compressed the golf ball. It was beautiful to watch. We're gonna miss watching that, and not to mention he's a fantastic guy. We're gonna miss him. That's life.
That's tough, right?
I know.
You know what? Yes, I'm glad
I had a
to
ball.
meet you.
I had a ball.
And don't you go back home going, "Hey, did you see that?"
Exactly. I've been saying the same thing, brother.
Hey, it's tough.
Oh, I know. It's tough.
He works out hard. He practices hard. He does everything hard. So, I mean, really bummed out for the kid, but I think he'll be all right.
I overpacked a little bit. And then again, I wasn't expecting to leave quite so early. Should have underpacked. It's just the nature of the beast, you know?
I believe very strongly that John Roddy has a very big future in golf or entertainment or anything he wants to do, and I knew how much this break meant to him.
My dad's been pretty sick. It's been bad for him the last 2 months. So that's been tough more than anything else. Yeah, I'd like to put a good show in here for Pops, but we tried, Pops. That's all you can do. I think it's gonna come down to, you never know. Everybody thought maybe I had a chance of winning it. It's just tough to make a prediction. Just that's how difficult it is out there. Hope you all win. That'd be sweet.
He left a little earlier than he probably wanted to, but the world knows John Roddy now, and they're going to be better for it.
Next time on The Big Break, the guys feel a need for speed in the most unusual skills challenge yet.
When you're running and you're trying to breathe, oh my word.
I'm looking at Brandon, I'm like, dude, I ain't doing this.
Come on, baby.
I'm watching the ball in the air. I didn't know what to do.
That was a twist we never expected. All right, buddy, come on.
With elimination on the line, the nerves will be tested with a short game.
Anything can happen in putting.
Finally, I get to do a skill I'm good at.
I just dead yanked it. I wasn't in a great mood at all. I was bitter.
And the long ball.
I knew if I just hit one pretty decent, I probably was gonna be okay, but anything can happen.
I think the advantage definitely is not going first in a situation like that.
Like every event, I'm very nervous.
Things are heating up as one more competitor says goodbye.
This was probably the biggest day since we've been here.
Big break!
Next time on The Big Break.
Just to get picked, to get out here, and to showcase my talent, get a chance to put myself in pressure situations, and see if I can rise to the challenge or see if I can fall at the challenge. And today I wouldn't say I failed, but definitely didn't get to go to that next round, which would have been nice, It'd been nice.